Hey, everybody. So, are you aware of how they've changed the ownership of bonds, stocks, retirement funds? And they changed the ownership from where you'd have a numbered piece of paper, a certificate associated to your stock or bond. Now it's changed to what's known as security entitlement. So, this still allows you to buy and sell stocks and also even acquire dividends, but you don't actually own them anymore. Yeah, they've been working on this legal sleight of hand for the past few decades, and now they made it into an investment product that you don't actually own, and you're actually part of a larger pool. But it's the broker that still actually retains the full legal entitlement to that bond or stock. So, which means if something happens, everything goes belly up, you'll be out on a loss. You won't get anything, basically. So that's one of the sleight of hand tricks that they're using in the financial world to make sure that you'll own nothing and be happy. And the next thing they're doing, and this is quietly announced by Larry Fink of BlackRock Investments, is known as tokenization or the digitization of assets. So what they're doing is creating a digital representation of house deeds, RSPs, TFSAs, all that sort of thing. And it'll be put onto a central ledger that they control, and you can only partake in if you accept a digital ID, the government issued digital ID. So this is the other part of the great taking. So a lot of these huge financial changes are going slowly under the radar. Our banks are all complicit with it, yet they're not talking about it at all. They're standing on their roofs preaching about equality and diversity and inclusion and all that. But with this, no press at all. And we should be very concerned. And there's not even like a counter story to this or like any kind of propaganda. They're just not telling anybody. So when you tell this to normies, they could even get it. The one thing that unites everybody is when our way of life and our quality of life is diminished. And that's what we're experiencing right now. You can actually really see it in comments on public pages where a lot of normies are. Yeah, they're feeling it. They're feeling the pinch. The quality of life has gone down dramatically, and the cost of living has gone up quite a bit. Now you can see that the gas prices have just gone up again. What you can expect from this Iran and U.S. war is I just gotta be clear though, I don't pick a side. I'm just being objective about what's happening. And I know right now most of the American public is not on board with this war, and a lot of the guys in the army aren't either. The prospect of a ground invasion in a mountainous country like that, it's a death trap. This war will continue endlessly, so expect the quality of our life to hit even take a bigger hit. Everything to get even more expensive. It'll keep on going. This will be one of those forever wars. Remember how long they were in Afghanistan for? They were there for years. Years. They just set themselves up. It's not about winning. Same thing in the Vietnam War too. It wasn't about winning. It was about sustaining a war that would feed the profits of the military industrial complex. And that's where they're going with this. But what you can expect from this is a decline in the confidence of the US dollar, otherwise known as the petrodollar. A big part of the support for that petrodollar was the US presence in the Middle East, protecting the United Emirates and Saudi Arabia and all that. And that's where they had all those bases. Well, that's one of the first targets for Iran when this war started. They've been planning this for a long time, and they always knew that America would be back to attack them because they've done this before, right? Like them or not, we got to be objective, and they plan to head that way. And they knew they could just stretch this war out. It would destroy the United States economically. Now, the empire of the U.S., you can call it that, an empire, is at about the 250-year mark. And that's about the lifespan of a lot of empires. And they also follow the same lifespan, peaking out what we did in, you see it in the 90s, 80s, 90s, and it's been a slow trajectory from there. And falling empires always have the same things happening: mass corruption, the cancel culture, declining currency. The currency has been on a downward trajectory. So just since the beginning of COVID in 2020, the U.S. printed vast amounts, like trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars pumped into the system that they just printed like that. And they've been getting away with this for a long time. The rest of the world's catching up. And currently, China is one of the biggest holders of U.S. bonds and treasuries. And they're starting to sell them off and actually buy real physical gold. And this is while the U.S. is just printing off more money. They're actually exporting inflation. And the other countries are catching on to this. They are. And the days are numbered for the American dollar to have its status as a world reserve currency. The war we see in the Middle East is effectively going to be us, North America, versus the BRICS alliance. The BRICS alliance, which consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and like 57 other countries, maybe even more, have a way, way, way higher GDP, combined GDP, bigger army, combined army, and they also have more of a monopoly on rare metals, rare earth minerals, so microchips. They have the lead on most things. And so that's a war that we don't want to get into, and that's what we're getting dragged into right now. So I'm not being pro. I don't have to be pro any side for not wanting this war to happen, right? So people gotta understand. They always try to lot you with the others. Like, no, I just don't want war, and it's not necessary. This war is largely unpopular with people, as it should be. You know, a lot of the lies that they started the Iraq war with are the same ones they're using now. But now they're not getting away with it as much because now we have a lot of people are connected through social media. So this is a good time to get out of traditional investments that are based in the bank, based on denominated in our currency. It's a good time to get out. Yes, it's good to get physical silver, physical gold, but you might want to consider getting into a private gold reserve that's audited twice a year by third party. This is Precious Metal International. They've been around for a long time, and they have gold repositories all around the world. And that helps in a situation where, say, you had to leave your country fast and you're going to the airport. Well, you can't really bring much physical or silver gold with you. But with this, you could have your value, you can be able to extract your value outside the country and have it converted to any currency that's still stable should the situation arise that our dollar collapses. And you also have the ability to leverage against your holdings to buy more precious metals, which will greatly inflate your account when prices do rise, as we do expect them to. The prices of precious metals can't go anywhere but up from here drastically. Silver has gone up 160% just in the last couple years, and gold's gone up 60%, I believe. And yeah, no time like the present to buy in. So if this interests you, click the link below or give me a message and we'll talk from there.